Hi, welcome. Today we are talking about one of the broadest topics, management. Management is in public sector, in private sector, in business sector, or even in your personal life. We have millions of management topics. Business management, operation management, human resources management, project management, and even in your personal life, life management or stress management. So these are management. So first, what comes is management. Uh, when a manager, a president, an employee understand management, then he or she can apply in any context, even in the context of personal life. So in any profession we have management. First, let's discuss what is management. Management is designing and maintaining an environment in which individuals are working in groups to achieve organizational goals or to achieve their goals or to achieve the public goals, private goals. So you can change it. But make sure designing and maintaining is the integral part of management. For example, if you launch a new product, you have lots of services with it. You have warranties, you have high quality raw material, you have after sale services. So this is designing what you designed. So when you designed, then maintaining comes. So will these things that you added to your new product, like warranties, after sales services, and the like, will be consistent for long term? So when you maintain this design, then that is management. Or if you design a very nice place for your customers, like nice chairs, nice lobby with ACs, with Wi-Fi, so all these need some expenses, right? So you designed it for your customers. So when you maintain this, then that is management. Because most that they design an environment, and after some years they are not consistent to that designing. So that is not a management. That is not a proper management. So let's discuss secondly on is management an art or science? So we discussed first about science and art in the management context. Then we will go through the functions of management and on the details of the important function of management, which is planning. Science and art. What do you think science and art are? You might have thought of science as physics, algebra, or mathematics. You might have seen drivers driving, music players play music, singers sing, um, painters paint. So these are also art. Management is also an art. So what is art? Art is specifically and importantly, it is like a subject. So it is practice of a knowledge. Practice of a knowledge that is acquired by science. So science is acquiring knowledge. Science is adding new knowledge. Science is proving a knowledge. So when a knowledge is acquired, then that is practiced. When the practice starts, that is art. So for example, if you might have gone through some researches, there is a scientific investigation process. You have to go through that process. So make sure that science has its own standard process. So when you apply standard process and you go to a proper result, then that is science. For example, if you go through your research and you apply your scientific investigation, which is observation, literature review, identification of problem, and developing hypothesis if it is quantitative research, and then you go through collecting data, analyzing data and interpretations, and you finally develop a theory. So that is a science process. So art is a subject and science is an object. We are coming through the management functions: planning, organizing and staffing, and then leading and controlling. So today we are only focusing on the details of planning, and in our future videos we will talk about organizing, staffing, leading and controlling. So what is planning? Planning is one of the most important and the first function of management. So planning tells you where you are, what you want. So the gap between where you are and where you go is planning. So in planning, we have some steps to apply to achieve our goals. So planning, from the time that you are thinking of doing something, is planning. From the time that you are thinking of buying something is planning. From the time that you are going somewhere to a destination, that is planning. But you have to make sure in business area, which is the profit and loss issue, you have to make sure these steps are applied accurately. So let's go through it. In planning, first of all, you have to apply the first step, that is opportunities. You have to assess what is in the environment. If you want to launch a new product in a new market, you have to find out what is in a new market. What are the opportunities? What are the threats? So what are your abilities, your strengths? Can you acquire those opportunities or not? Will that have some profits for you? So the assessment of the external environment with the different factors is in the opportunities. In the second part, in the second step of planning, we have goals. Then after assessment of the opportunities in the external environment, you are going to identify your goals. So what is your goal? What you want to achieve? So you develop your goals, your objectives. So you realistically explain and identify your goals and objectives. Sorry. Then, and the third step is alternatives. You were identifying the different alternatives. Which type of product to develop? So then there are different kind of products you have to develop. So which product you develop to achieve your goals? To achieve your goals. So it is linked with this, and then you have to evaluate the different alternatives. When you evaluated your different alternatives, then here you are going to come, that is decision. So in decision, you are selecting with the best alternative. You are selecting one of the best alternatives out of different alternatives. For example, when you go outside for buying some shoes for you. You were seeing different kind of alternatives, so you were selecting one of the best alternatives, the best shoes for you. So that is decision. You decided among the alternatives. So this is one of the most important part, because decision making is not easy. You might have experienced when you go outside and you are trying to select one of the best alternatives among different alternatives. It is very confusing. So I myself also experienced. So this is decision part. In formulating supporting plans, this is supporting all of other steps. Specifically supporting the selected alternative for what you decided. So in formulating supporting plans, you are identifying what equipments, what resources, what do you need. If it is business area, you are identifying its different resources. For example, you launch a new product, so what will be the expenses, what machineries will be needed, what raw materials will be needed. So all these, so this is supporting your main plan to achieve the goals. And the last step, that is budgeting. So in budgeting, you will estimate the expenses and income. So what will be the expenses? How much will be the expenses? So then what will be the income? So all these are evaluated in the budgeting. Then planning is now done and finished. But make sure that all these steps cannot be applied in any situations. There are some examples to better understand planning. First, preparing for a college. You might have planned to start your bachelor degree, master degree in a college. First of all, you are going to see the opportunities for starting bachelor degree. Are there opportunities to start your bachelor degree? Will that be good? Are there some jobs? Or you're going to assess, can you do that? And the goals, what is your goal? My goal is to achieve my bachelor degree, to make a business, to become a teacher, to achieve the goals of completing my bachelor degree. So these are the goals for this example. The alternative in the alternative part for this example, what department will you start? What department will you study? Which department? ICT, business, management, accounting, and etc. Then you will select one of them. Suppose you have selected accounting or ICT. Then you will see what will be the resources needed, how much money is needed, fees, equipments, transportations, and overall. Then you will see in budgeting, budgeting is mostly focusing on the business type. So for your personal life, you will see its future profits for you. Will it have future profits for ICT that you started in the bachelor degree? So, and you were also calculating the total expense, how much expense will be needed to complete your bachelor degree in ICT. And the second example, buying a car, suit, watch, shoes, anything you want to buy. So you have to plan. The same process, the same steps are applied. And initiate a business startup. So this is in the business context. If you initiate a business, so you have to first go through the opportunities. Again, you will go through the goals. What are your goals? Then you will go through alternatives. So what are the alternatives? What type of business will you start? Based on the opportunities that you have in the market, and you will decide one of the best alternatives. So then after decision, you are going to see what type of equipments, items, materials are needed for that business. And in budgeting, you are going to assess and estimate the income and the expenses of that specific business that you are starting. So it was all about planning. So our main focus was on planning, and in the future videos we will definitely discuss on the details of organizing, with staffing, and leading, with controlling. So if you want to know the details of organizing, leading, and controlling, please don't forget to subscribe, and you can also comment if you have any questions in different parts of management. Thank you very much.